let's talk about kind of your advocacy work because it's just really amazing. And, I think many of us get kind of tapped on the shoulder to take this further because we can't just move on. We know too much.
Yeah,
So share with me what your vision is and what you're doing and how we're going to
yeah,
work together.
right. I know when I was going through treatment, I thought I just want this to be over and I want to move past it and I never want to think about cancer again. But it never let me go. And I got pretty depressed when I went through it, and actually a little bit afterwards I was still kind of depressed, and I thought, "You know what? I am just going to stand up to this beast and tell the world about it so that they know
Yes.
that
Yes.
power in coming forward. There's power in telling your story." I know there was a time when it was like we didn't even say breast cancer, but we have to be able to talk about this and share our stories and not be embarrassed or ashamed about what we went through. So for me, I started out, I completed the advocacy program through the IBC network. I did that, and that just basically gave me some education about IBC, so I could understand it a little bit more. And then I've been active in my community. Like I said, with my daughter's school this year, I'm helping to head up a Coaches versus Cancer fundraiser for her school, which is a big deal with the American Cancer Society. I'm working on writing a book, and
Nice.
it's taking forever because I thought it was so simple. You just sit down and write a book, but it's not.
Yes.
um, and I'm actually trying to put a different spin on it than a lot of breast cancer books that are out there. I think anyone who writes a book about their story is phenomenal.
Mhm.
Um, this one I want to be a little bit different though, so I'm kind of writing it more like a novel. And the cancer actually is a character in the book. My brain is its own character in the book.
I like
Um,
that.
yeah,
That's
it really was a huge thing that helped me through because I had this really, really odd side effect from one of the chemo treatments. It made my ear whistle all the time. So I started listening to music to cover that up because I was about to go crazy. And
yes.
I heard so many different types of music that just blew me away. I mean, I had no idea what the world of music was like before that. And that really helped me get through. So I'm trying to be some sort of advocate for cancer within the music community. And then I am just in the very, very beginnings. I haven't really shared this one any yet, but I'm going public with it here, trying to start my own little foundation somehow to work to raise money for cancer research because I mean, it's just so
I
important.
I agree
And
with you.
I had seen something recently that said you can't look at what's ahead of you. You just have to go step by step. You can only turn around and see what's behind you. So, whatever you do, make sure when you turn around and see the steps that you've left behind that you're proud of what you've done.
Mhm.
And, you know, that really it's changed my life. Having cancer really changed my life, and I went through that traumatic experience for a reason so that I can turn around and say, "Look at the steps I've taken since then. I've come out stronger, I've come out more independent, I have put a positive spin on this,
Yes, you have.
and just let me help anybody that is willing to listen, to get as much information as they can for
Yes.
this, and hopefully, it can save a life or 2 or millions. That
Oh,
would be,
absolutely.
you
Katrina,
know.
what you've just shared here to the world, I mean, here at Learn, Look, Locate, I mean, I want to be global. I mean, there could be a woman in Italy or France or Greece or India that's listening
Yeah,
to this, and you have gotten them to wake up and realize it could be inflammatory breast cancer. And because it is such a quiet, not talked about, doesn't get nearly the attention as invasive ductal, which is like 92% of the,
right,
cancer, so yes, you are doing it and it takes time, but we are here to help as a
yeah,
platform. That's why I did this. I want to get these voices and your stories so that,
mhm,
other women are just feel more empowered. And like you said, once you finally knew, there is a sense of calm
Mhm.
that comes over us. And there
Right.
may be a reason why it all happens, because it is very rewarding to know that people are seeking you out and they want to
Yeah.
learn from you. And that not only did you go through such a traumatic time, but the mind took you to a positive place, and
Right.
it's important that anyone newly diagnosed with cancer, the mind can take you to a rabbit hole. And that's why, you know, learn, look, locate is very colorful. Then I just want to share, I don't know if I've ever told you this. I did it this way because we're scared enough. And so I
Yeah.
want the brain to relax. And as women, I think we need to see things that are pretty because I think it helps us feel a little bit better because it's hard enough, right? So
Right.
I'm so excited that you want to get your voice out there. And, we are here to bring you, raise and lift. And when the book gets out, you got to let me know because
Yeah.
the link
Yeah.
out there so people can get it.
Mhm. Yep.
Any last closing thoughts?
Um, have been in talks with Jamie at Test Those Breasts for her
Yeah.
podcast. So I'm going to be doing an interview with her as well and talking about some other um, more personal things that can happen in your life when you're going through cancer treatment too. So it's going to be tough, but we're going to talk about it. And I
Yeah.
just don't want any woman that's out there going through any of this to ever feel alone. Um, we always say with breast cancer, this is the club we never wanted to be in, but once you're in it, I mean, friendships and the women that you connect with and the men that we connect with. I
Yeah.
mean, I know we tend to leave the guys out, but I mean, male breast
Oh,
cancer.
yeah. So, Katrina, if you could tell anyone who's watching this just a last closing thought, what would you like to say?
Um, I just want to say, try to make it a point the first of every month to give yourself a self breast exam. Really feel around in there as you can, and not just stop there with you know, touching, but looking at yourself. Take a minute to look at yourself in the mirror once a month and notice if there's any changes. Take a minute to see how your clothes are fitting, how your bra is fitting. If you think there's any type of change, see a doctor. IBC is sneaky. It is a sneaky, sneaky breast cancer. And once it starts growing, it grows quick. So, you know, don't feel like you're wasting a doctor's time. Don't feel like you're wasting your own time. Get it checked out because the best answer is they're going to test and find out that you don't have cancer. But if you do, you want to find out as soon as possible.
So, Katrina, part of your treatment was immunotherapy. I'm not aware of actually what it even is. And can you describe it and tell us what it did for you as far as your treatment?
Sure. I can't, since I'm not in the
No,
medical community,
right.
that I can explain it all that well. But I know that they gave it along with my chemotherapy. And I had HER2 positive breast cancer. So I received Herceptin and Perjeta were the two immunotherapy treatments that I got. And from what I understand, it kind of blocks the receptors on the cancer cells from
Ah,
being able to grow. So that way the cancer basically is dying from that. And it doesn't attack the healthy cells, it only attacks the cancer cells. So I would be dead though if I didn't have that because HER2 positive cancer is another aggressive type. And so here I had inflammatory breast cancer, which is extremely aggressive. And then I've got HER2 positive and estrogen progesterone negative, which meant it was also very aggressive. So I had those two strikes against me. But, you know, I could see where my breast was discolored from the cancer. And as they started giving me these treatments, I mean, within a few days into weeks, I could see my breast going back to normal.